Yo, what's up guys? John Boogle here, and here we are. This is a continuation video from the previous video I did about Genshin Impact, and that whole video was my first impressions on the game. You can go see that if you haven't seen that already. But here today we are here for the final thoughts for Genshin Impact. While that video was the first impressions of this game, I said in that video if you guys wanted to see a final thoughts video or kind of an update video. And here we are, we're at the end game of Genshin. As you can see, we're AR 55, and this is pretty much the end game of this game. So yeah, in this video, we're gonna see how much my first impression has changed, and how much of it stayed, and what I think about the end game of Genshin Impact, and a couple other things, but yeah, let's hop into it. So first, of course, let's start on my initial thoughts of the end game. What does it feel like to be in the endgame of Genshin Impact? Well, by no one's surprise, it's pretty stale, and that is usually the thing with most games. In their endgame portion, they get very stale, but it's especially true with Genshin because this game is still pretty new, and they are really trying to stretch out this game and trying to put the content in a huge gap apart so they will have this game's lifespan last for a couple years. But that of course creates a whole bunch of content walls, and the game is very stale until a new update comes out and new content or event is released. But now we're at the end game. What is there left to do? Is it really the end game, or is there still more you can do? Well, other than the basic hop on, use your resin on artifact domains or weapon domains or book domains, or just world bosses to get your characters ranked up, there is pretty much nothing else you can do. And that is especially true because I do have the entire map 100%. So there isn't really much I can do. Yes, I could find that rare chest every now and then. You know, like maybe once every month I find another chest and woo, get that nice 2 primo gems, some sweet adventure XP. But other than that, there really is nothing more left to do other than daily commissions, the daily resin spending, and achievement hunting, and trying to get your characters leveled up. And that sets me up perfectly for the next topic about the endgame, the massive content wall. And we all know about this. They are really trying to delay the content to make the game's lifespan a lot longer than it would be. Like 250,000 adventure rank XP to go from AR 55 to 56. If that isn't a wall, I don't know what is. And I'm totally fine with content walls as long as there's great rewards. But in this case, from going to AR 55 to 56 is pretty much the same thing. It is meaningless. There is nothing great about progressing any further, nothing rewarding, nothing exciting about going any further. And if there is such a huge content wall from going to AR 55 to 56, I would expect at least some great rewards, but there is nothing pretty much. And with the scarce amount of resources, you can't really develop a lot of characters you want to try out. So there's another content wall right there. Being able to try out new characters can really freshen up the game and make people get on and play the game a lot longer. Because trying out new characters is a fun experience, but if there's no resources to do so, what is the point? Like, I still have many characters I want to build and try out, but resources are just way too scarce, and we're so far in, it shouldn't be an issue. Like, at least give the ley lines an upgrade at AR 55, because the ley lines haven't dropped more rewards since AR 45. There really is no point to go higher world level unless you want those guaranteed 5-star artifact drops from world bosses. Other than that, it's pretty much a scam. But we could talk about the content wall for ages. What about the good parts of Endgame? What is the good things about Endgame that most people don't talk about much? Well, one thing I can say is it's very casual. You can hop on, do your dailies, do some artifact runs, whatever, and just hop back off and chill out. And it's a very nice thing for people who don't have much time. Like, I can't grind as much as I used to anymore, so being able to just hop on, do commissions, do some domains, and just hop off is very convenient and it's very nice. But even if it is really nice, I do wish there is more to do. I guess the 5-star guaranteed artifact drop is nice from world bosses, but this should have been a thing a while ago because domains have a guaranteed 5-star drop at AR 45, but world bosses cost more resin and there is no 5-star guaranteed drop until AR 55. Seems a bit odd. But another amazing thing about Endgame is of course Spiral Abyss. This is pretty much your only source of consistent rewards once you reach the endgame. Every time the Spiral Abyss resets, you can do Thor 9 to 12 and get those rewards again, which is nice. The Primo Gems is pretty nice, but I'm sure there could be much more, especially with the pain of floor 11 and the new floor 12. I mean, the difficulty is exciting, but the floor 11 RNG hell was pretty frustrating the first time around. Yeah, as far as that's pretty much the only good things I could think about for the end game of Genshin. Now let's talk about some ways how they can improve the end game of Genshin greatly by still keeping a good content delay but not a content wall, by letting players actually build the characters they want to try out and having the resources to do so and get more engagement into the game. Now these are very obvious changes that could happen and that they can do that has probably been mentioned hundreds of times by now, but let's list them here anyways, just in case you do not know what I'm talking about. So let's talk events. Events are amazing. The Genshin events are pretty nice and all of them really do bring some nice rewards and engagement, and they really learned their lesson from the first Meteor event with resin, and they are now moving towards a resin-free but rewarding experience, and that is a huge plus. So every time these events do come around, it is very exciting. There's pretty nice rewards and it is usually pretty easy to do and it isn't too tricky or time consuming. Stuff like the Cube event and the current Tower Defense event and even the Meteor event were some very nice things and was very rewarding, and there should be a lot more events in Genshin, and I'm pretty sure there is a lot more on the horizon for each update. But just having small events here and there that do give decent rewards, and they'll bring a whole bunch of players back and get people building their characters they want to build, and it'll create a lot more excitement around the game. So more events. More events can really help the endgame players of Genshin. It could give players a reason to hop back on Genshin and do some of these interesting events and reap some great rewards. Like, I know a lot of people do hate this tower defense event and this whole game mode that they built. They think it's too slow paced or too boring, but the rewards are pretty nice, and this whole game mode or this tower defense event is very innovative. It's very fresh, something new that we've never seen before, and it could really change up how you look at the game for a certain period of time, and that is a good thing. Speaking of rewards, let's talk about the second big thing they can do to help the endgame players and make the endgame a lot better. That is, of course, better rewards. There just isn't enough good rewards for the endgame players. It is very stale, very dry. If you've come this far and grinded this far, there should at least be some better rewards for the people here. Like, take the thing I mentioned earlier, the leyline upgrade. There should be a leyline upgrade this far out, because the last one has been a while ago. That was AR 45, and just a small leyline upgrade at AR 50 or AR 55 can really help a lot of people, and that does make a huge difference, and it should definitely be a thing they should be looking to do. Of course, we already talked about better world boss drops. I mean, I'm tired of getting blue and green gem drops from the world bosses at AR 55, so why not up the chances for the rarer drops at higher ranks? There's no way that can decrease the whole game's lifespan a tremendous amount, so it is definitely something they can do. And the final thing I can think of is, of course, more ways to get resources. And one of the ways is of course events. Like I mentioned before, some small events here and there that do give some decent rewards to help players get those characters built up would be very nice. And maybe some newer ways to get some more rewards, maybe some separate daily missions. Let's say you do 4 ley lines in a day and you get a bonus 20 XP books or some bonus Mora, a longer battle pass, that could be another thing. The battle pass is pretty easy to max out in this age, and a longer battle pass with more rewards can really help a lot of people, and it'll cause a lot more engagement throughout the game. How about a sandbox mode? Let people use their characters at max potential, test out different artifacts, test out different builds, different talent levels, different character levels without having to waste so much resources, and that'll really give people a new incentive to try out more characters and maybe actually start building them down the line. Yeah, those are some of the things I can think about right now for the endgame and how they can improve the endgame for Genshin Impact. Now here we are at the finishing half of the video. Let's talk about my overall thoughts of the endgame and how my impression has changed, how I feel about Genshin compared to when I first started playing, will I still continue to play Genshin, and my final rating for Genshin Impact. So how has my impression changed since the beginning? Well, when I first saw Genshin, I did think this is a pretty nice open world RPG gacha game, but the impression after Endgame is artifact RNG hell. Of course, in the beginning I thought there was a lot more to do in the game, because there is. It is the beginning of the game, there's still a lot of content to explore, but once you reach the end, the only thing you're pretty much gonna spend your time on is of course artifact grinding. So how do I actually feel now compared to the beginning? Like, what do I feel when hopping on Genshin every day now compared to when I used to do it in the beginning? Well, it's pretty much the same. Like, I still love the look of the game and the feel of the game, the combat. I still love the OST and all the things about the game that I used to love when I first started playing. I still do love those things now. Other than that, of course, I do feel like I've been playing it a lot less in total playtime. Just been hopping on, doing daily commissions, doing artifact domains or other things, then just hopping off, compared to the beginning where I just used to go for 13, 15, 20 hours straight grinds, getting all the chests, getting all the quests done, and getting everything done. And maybe it's my fault for trying to complete everything in one go, like when Dragon Spine released, when that whole area released. I remember I stayed up the whole night just grinding out Dragon Spine. I 100%ed the map on Dragon Spine, got all the chests, got all the quests done, and got all of pretty much everything done on Dragon Spine on that night it came out. So maybe it's my fault that I'm just consuming the content way too quickly and going through it way too fast, but that's just the nature of a grinder. If you know, you know. Now, will I still continue to play Genshin? Because I've seen a lot of people. There's a lot of people that reach AR 55 and they just leave the game. They quit. So will I do the same? Well, I don't think I will, and I don't think I will anytime soon either, because the game is only gonna improve from here. There's no way they're gonna make the game worse and worse. So that is why I'm just gonna stick with it and keep grinding it, keep playing it, and we'll see where it goes. Now if it starts going downhill, that is of course when I'll start thinking about leaving, but we'll see what the rest of this year has to offer for Genshin Impact. But yeah, those are my final thoughts of Genshin Impact after reaching the endgame. Now, what is my final rating after reaching endgame? Of course, the game's overall feel has deteriorated a bit. It has become a bit stale, but the implementation of more events can really help that, and I'm pretty sure there is going to be a lot more events in the future, and I'm excited to see those. So final rating on Genshin Impact is of course a 7 out of 10. Of course, in the first impression it was 8 out of 10, but after experiencing the endgame and what all the game has to offer, it is really fitting for a good spot at 7 out of 10. It is a good gacha game, one of the better gacha games, but it is still very new and there is still lots of room and time for improvement. Like, Genshin as a game overall is still really good, but looking at it as a gacha game, there's still lots of things that could be improved. Like, comparing it to the king of gacha games, as I would say, it still doesn't come close to being on that level, but as a game overall, it is a pretty good game. So yeah, as an overall game, Genshin is better than Dokkan in my eyes, but as a gacha game, it doesn't come close. So yeah, here's my final ratings. I mean, not too much of a surprise here. Of course, my opinion on Battle Cats has been slowly deteriorating as time goes on, and Dokkan sitting at a strong 9 out of 10 for me right now. I mean, the 6th year anniversary for Dokkan, it is the best celebration and anniversary event that the game has had, and 6 years in, that is a very, very good thing. And the celebration isn't even over yet, so yeah. I mean, I could talk about Dokkan's greatness for a long time, but this is a Genshin focused video, so we'll keep it to that for now. But yeah, that is my final thoughts on Genshin and what I feel about it after reaching Endgame, and what I think about it, and everything like that. So drop a like if you did agree or enjoy this video. Of course, keep in mind, this is just an opinion. Subscribe if you're new, join the hashtag Boogle gang, and go in the description below and join the Discord. Yes, I have a Discord. There's a limited invite there. There's some fun Nitro giveaways there every month, so make sure you go down and join the Boogle Discord. But hey, maybe I will make a video on why I think Dokkan is the king of gacha games. But yeah, that's it guys. It's been John Boogle, and see ya. By the way, we did get shit drops.